Hello and welcome to my first ever video blabbing about anime. In this video I'm going to be talking about the highs and mostly lows of this season of anime that's finally finished. My family and my friends got tired of hearing about all my anime nonsense, so I've decided to make a YouTube channel just to put all my thoughts out there because I just like talking way too much. So if you guys have anything anime related you want me to talk about, please just put it down in the comments down below and I will try to get to it just to keep any subscribers I can happy. With that being said, let's just get into it. So I'm going to be ranking my animes from my least favorite to my favorite anime that I've watched this season, beginning with, bad pun, I'm sorry, the beginning after the end. 4 out of 10. This anime is horrible. Just, ouch. Why would you even make this if this is the product you were going to put out? I know why, because Solo Leveling made like $1 bajillion and was just, is a pretty simple story. But at least it had the animation budget of a small country's GDP. This didn't have the animation budget of a teenager working at McDonald's. So at least Blue Lock Season 2 and Seven Deadly Sins Season 3 attempted animation. Like, stuff moved at least. This is just still shots with sound effects and maybe some coloring over hands to like look like it's magic or something. It is just horrible. I cannot recommend this anime to anyone. The story is very similar to Mushoku Tensei, but sorry if this makes people mad. I don't like Mushoku Tensei because the main character is a freaking pedophile and I can't stand listening to him. This one, the main character is actually a pretty good guy and acts like an adult. Even though he's a kid, reincarnated as a child prodigy, and it's a very similar story. But so I was looking forward to this one, but anything the anime gets its hands on turns to crap. The voice actors do a fine enough job and the story's still good because it's based off a good webcomic that has a good enough story, but this is just anything the anime touches is awful. Don't watch this. The only reason it's not a 0 is because the webcomic it's based off is actually entertaining. Read that, don't watch this. Alright, now to my second least favorite anime that I watched this season, The Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Sorry, I had to look at that title because it's just too weird. Anyway, 5 out of 10. It's kind of a good metaphor for this whole season as a whole. It's just mid. We've seen this story 100 times before. A guy who thinks he's weak, finds out he's actually really strong, and then every girl wants to sleep with him, and every guy prays to his picture at night. The only difference is this guy's in his 30s. We've seen this 100 times with every self-insert, Kirito, knockoff, isekai. This one isn't an isekai, but it sure feels like one. But don't watch it. It's really mid. You'll just get bored like I did. I dropped this one after about 6 episodes because I just couldn't. Again, it's not that the characters are fine and they're not insufferable. The animation's fine, but it's just mid. There's nothing to keep you going. There's no reason to watch the next episode. There's no reason to really stop watching unless you really think about it for 5 seconds. You're like, I could watch just anything that's better. And when there's thousands of anime out there, there tends to be one that's better than this 5 out of 10. You can find better anime to watch. On to the third anime that I was watching this season. I did finish this one, but it was still mid. Vigilantes, 6 out of 10. It's just My Hero with less interesting powers and less interesting characters. The only character that I even kind of find interesting is the no quirk All Might mentor character, but again, he's just All Might with no quirk, so he's less interesting, and he mentors the nice guy everyman in Koichi. The other two main characters are Koichi, like I just mentioned, and his pink-haired sidekick. They are just as basic as they come. Koichi is the nice guy everyman trope, and the pink-haired girl is just a pink-haired girl with an attitude. There's nothing to them. You've seen these characters 100 times before, and again, the big problem with this anime is I just don't care. The best parts of the anime are the parts that come from My Hero, like when they bring characters over, like Eraserhead or Stain. But the problem is, this anime is basically playing under filler rules. When this manga came out, the My Hero manga was still airing, so they can't do anything with the characters from My Hero or anything too drastic with the world for fear of contradicting something that Horikoshi was going to put in the still airing My Hero. So you just don't care. You don't care about the characters. You don't care about the villains. I don't even care about really any event that takes place. It's just new villain of the week shows up that's being manipulated by the big main villain. And he gets beat, rinse, repeat, on to next week. The main villain, I think, is some kind of drug dealer. But I don't care. I don't care about how, if she gets beat or why she's doing what she's doing. I don't care about anything that's happening in this anime. It's just, the only reason it's not like 5 or below is because the My Hero animation is kind of is still fun. And again, the characters aren't insufferable. It's got some fine humor, but there's just nothing special about this anime. You will not miss anything by not watching it. I know a lot of people really like this one, but I just can't get into it. It's just kind of boring. All right, on to the 4th anime that I was watching this season, and one of only 2 that I actually liked, To Be Hero X. 8 out of 10. This one, the best way I can use to describe it is unique. Every 4 episodes, it'll focus on a new main character / hero, so it's a bit of an anthology type of anime. And the animation is a little weird at first, but I promise it doesn't take away from any of the viewing experience. As someone who thought it was weird as well, I got over it so quickly. The animation will sometimes change during dramatic moments, so it just adds to the experience in my opinion. Now, the power system in this show is called the trust system, where if someone believes you have a power, that's the power you will get, and it will be amplified by the number of people who also believe that. So if someone believes you're Superman, you will have the powers of Superman, but to a lesser extent versus if 10,000 people believe that. This show focuses on the positives and the negatives of being a hero, becoming a hero, and what some people will do to stay famous, even if they're not the famous one, like riding coattails. The best part about this show is that all of the characters feel like real people and make real decisions. They don't just feel like they're making the White Knight, generic decision. While it's not perfect, because some of the mini arcs will be more interesting to you than the others, like I'm a bit of a basic shonen guy, so I liked the battle arcs more than I liked the singing girl arcs that was in this. It's still good, and the singing girl arc had me getting choked up at the end, so it's still entertaining, and while some are more battle focused, some will be more heartfelt and singing focused. The new arc just started, and it seems like it's going to delve more into the world and maybe how the tournament works that it's kind of seems like it's alluding to. It would be really cool if they did a tournament arc with all the characters that they did anthology episodes about, because then you wouldn't know who the main character is versus like, My Hero, where you just knew that Deku was going to, if not win, do something really dramatic. So that would be really cool. But I recommend this anime to everyone. It just feels like an anime that you haven't seen before. So 8 out of 10, I recommend it. And the last anime that I was watching this season is also the best anime that I watched this season, and one that many people may not even realize even came out or is part of this season. Devil May Cry, 9 out of 10. This anime is everything I want my anime to be, which is simply fun. A sarcastic, hilarious, nigh unkillable badass named Dante hunts demons and has to team up and interact a lot with a by-the-books cop that he lovingly refers to as Lady. Lady cusses more than Naruto says Hokage. While she is by the books and will do anything her superior asks her to without question, she cusses up a storm, and her banter with the I don't give a fuck Dante could have its own sitcom. I love every interaction these characters have together, except for one, but I won't spoil anything. It's just hilarious and fun and bloody as hell, and Dante and Lady will kill demons to a heavy metal soundtrack, and if that doesn't sound fun to you, this anime probably isn't for you. However, if that was all it had, I would still love this anime, but it goes deeper than that, which is why it gets all the way up to a 9 out of 10. And the way that this show goes deeper is when it mainly focuses on its main villain, White Rabbit. White Rabbit is my favorite type of villain in the way that he's an evil mastermind that is portrayed with the motivation that makes you question who's really good and bad in this situation. He wants to bring his demon kind over to Earth by destroying the border between the two worlds so that he can give his demon kinds a better life than the ones that they have in hell. Now, this is done so well, especially in his backstory episode. His backstory episode is one of my favorite anime episodes of the year, where it shows his just descent, starting out as a kind of a good person, his descent into madness, all in the pursuit of a once noble cause. Now, this anime tries to tackle some bigger issues with the immigration like I was just talking about, and the problem is when it kind of all comes to a head, White Rabbit comes off more as like a watch the world burn Joker type of villain, rather than the type of villain that makes you question whose side you really should be on in this situation. But this anime is still fantastic. The villain's fantastic. The two main characters are hilarious. I love listening to them, and I like everything about this show. Like I said, the only reason it's not a perfect show, 10 out of 10 is that in the last couple episodes, they make a few decisions that I don't necessarily love that make it feel a little more generic in the last 2 episodes. So that was my first ever YouTube video. Thanks to anyone who actually made it to the end here. Please like, subscribe, comment down below anything you want me to talk about. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for coming. Goosher, come here. Come here. Goosey goose. Goosey goose. Goosey goose. Here's my cat Goose. He's polydactyl, which basically means he has 2 thumbs. And it makes him look like he has mittens for hands. He don't like people because he thinks people are going to steal his mittens. Okay. He was bothering me because I wasn't giving him attention. Say hi. No, he didn't care. Okay. Bye, Goose.